We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team ready to chat 24/7. We're the boat safety team by your side on every ride.
Let me ask you a question. What holds you back when you wake up each morning? Is it the uncertainty of how the day will unfold? And as the day goes on, what makes your heart race? Is it the quiet fear that maybe you're not doing enough? And when it's evening, is it the longing for just a little more time? Whatever it is, remember, challenges don't define you, but how you rise to meet them. Staying connected to your dreams, that's how you break free from limits. Get unlimited data plus up to 6-hour battery backup to keep you connected without interruptions on Airtel 4G 5G Smart Connect. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to find out more. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Hey, here's a question for you. What gets you out of bed in the morning? Is it the sunrise? The sound of your alarm? No, it's that dream, that drive, that unstoppable force inside you. And you know what fuels that drive? It's starting your day strong with the rich, creamy taste of Nescafe Original 3-in-1, carefully crafted from selected coffee beans. So, whatever your hustle, go from maybe or I can't to I can and I will. Nescafe Original 3-in-1. Start strong, finish strong.
Darling, how did your visit to the doctor go?
I'm confused. He said my blood pressure was like a baby's.
Well, that's a good thing.
Exactly, because my BP has always been high. He said that perhaps I changed something in my life.
What changed, darling?
The only thing that has changed is Sterling One Bank app, which I downloaded recently. I've had peace of mind since I started using One Bank.
How?
Look, One Bank allows me to do a whole lot without problems. Easy.
I know how you always have issues with your bank, darling.
Not anymore. One Bank handles complaints effectively, and payments can be scheduled and processed smoothly.
How about your loans and investments?
One Bank.
Money transfer?
One Bank. You can even swap dollar to naira in a few seconds. Easy. Transactions on One Bank are super fast. You can open an account with NIN or BVN, buy airtime and data, pay bills, and even dispute a wrong transaction without visiting the bank. All on One Bank. Guess what? There's so much more.
One Bank is peace of mind. I'm downloading it right away.
One Bank by Sterling is licensed by the CBN.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And is it to stir?
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
All right, it's great to have you back with us. 32 FM 94.9. Still the papers review this morning. It's time to delve into the analysis of the headlines. And we have Professor 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐀𝐈𝐒 to do that for us this morning. Good morning. My name is Kenny Dorotilu.
My name is DENIKE Adimowago. Professor 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐂𝐋𝐀𝐈𝐒, great to have you join us this morning.
Top of the day to you.
All right, we're starting off with the U.S. elections as regards the, the win as concerning Donald Trump. He's now the president-elect of the United States, and it was reported that Kamala Harris has also conceded defeat and all of that. So congratulations on the roll for that. What's your take in general as regards, because I mean American influence, or America's influence, is huge, and their policies affect the world. The dollar is used for trade all across the world. The currency is used for international trade. So it is quite a significant moment in the history of the world as regards this. What do you think this means for America at this time, having Trump as 45th and 47th president?
Well, I think the implications are wide and varied. The number one implication, of course, to a lot of people around the world is about the moral leadership that America has to offer, where you have a convicted felon, convicted of 34 felonies, being elected president. So, of course, it's very difficult for America to preach about any morality to nations around the world. But I also think it's going to be a more isolationist administration. They're interested, Trump has said, I don't know whether it's going to carry through, in tariff war Is interested, of course, in deportations, and of course, is interested in America first. Of course, he also is given little. Is not so much concerned about NATO. In other words, America's role in the North Atlantic Treaty Organization may well be affected and reduced. So, America, as the leader of the free world, their role will become into question. I mean, for us in Nigeria, of course, it's whether the trade war is going to affect us, it's going to affect our economy, whether, of course, there will be a reduction in the number of people who are able to jackpot there, and so on and so forth. So those are the initial implications. Many people had thought, at least, that maybe Kamala would win. But I think, in America, there are two concerns. Whether they're ready for a woman, whether they're ready for a black woman, apart from many other things. So we'll see how it will go. But for us in Nigeria, I think we have to carry on as it is and do the best for our country, as America would always do.
All right, Professor, talk about the passing of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tarid Abiodun Lagbaja. There were initial denials about the situation concerning his absence and all of that. He's been confirmed to have passed on now. The FEC meeting was postponed yesterday in his honor by the president. What do you make of the man, the life and times of the man, and of course his service to the country?
I mean, the truth about it was that we didn't know him for that long. But in the short period that we knew him, he certainly was a man who led the troops from the front. There's an iconic video of him doing press-ups with his troops, you understand, a number of press-ups, and he looked very rigorous and very, very strong. It's quite clear that when they said he wasn't dead, that he probably was very ill, But the moment that the acting chief of staff was appointed, and the moment he was elevated in rank, you knew that something was amiss and that he probably was not going to return to the position. I think, they made some successes under his stewardship in the war against insurgency and in the war against the terrorists. So they made some success. And of course, he was known as a straight shooter. He had a remarkable career by many standards. And of course, I'm sure that he will be missed by the troops. He was only 56, so he was still quite young. And it's rather unfortunate. But when it comes, it comes. I'm sure he received the best medical attention he could possibly give. But the question you have to ask, did he receive it early enough? And what we must begin to do in our health service or our health sector is to invest in prevention rather than cure, especially for the young men and the older men, even the ladies too.
Prof, do you think it was a matter of national security, the fact that they were being coy about the situation of things? Of course, it's the Chief of Army Staff we're talking about here. Do you think that not divulging that information was, strategic? Some people have been calling, the army out as regards why that was not announced, earlier, or the lack of clarity about the whole situation.
No, I think they should have been clear from the beginning, especially once we had an acting Chief of Staff appointed. In any case, even if we didn't have, the command and control of the military remains firmly and securely in place. It wouldn't have affected us security-wise or militarily to reveal the fact that the man was unwell and that they're gone for treatment. A lot of times in the Western world, they usually reveal not just the fact that their leaders are unwell, the causes of why of death or causes of their unwellness. And the reason why they do that is to send a message to people that you need to check yourself, you need to take precautionary measures, and so on and so forth. That's why they do it. So, for instance, in the issue of, I'm not saying it is, but in the issue of prostate, for instance, they tell people, check early, do your PSA check, so that you know where you are, and you can take preventive measures. And if with the ladies, they will say, do the mammograms, and so on and so forth, so that you know where you are, you can do these checks daily, and so on. So, there's an educational process, rather than just say, oh, it's in God's hands, and so on and so forth. We must, inform people, keep them aware. You understand? Of course, we don't want them knowing every detail, but the detail, once they're public officials, then some detail must be open to people to know.
All right, Dangote Refinery is in the news, or Dangote himself. According to this report, 3 oil marketers have asked the Federal High Court in Abuja to dismiss a suit that was filed by Dangote Petroleum Refinery. And this is saying that the application of refinery would spell doom for the country oil sector. They are saying that he is planning to monopolize the oil sector and that it's a recipe for disaster in the country. And according to this report, he would rather that they do not import fuel and focus on the local refinery that exists in the country. What are the sides to this as regards whether we limit importation like Dangote is proposing, or the side to it where he's truly, or rather trying to monopolize the industry?
Well, first and foremost, is it a matter of strategic economic interest? What some countries do when they want their homegrown industries to grow is that they keep out the imports so that the homegrown industries are able to grow and stand on their feet. But having said that, Dangote is not the only refinery at the present time. There are other refineries that are coming on board. It is the only, but there are other local refineries that are coming on board. And if he wins, as the case might be, then it might mean that only local refineries will be able to process or refine the PMS. Let me tell you, I think there are problems here. In a free market economy, you want people to have the freedom to do what they want. You can buy imported if you want, and you can buy that which is not imported. But having said that, the question from Dangote has always been that the petrol that comes from abroad is substandard, is blended, and it's not fit for purpose, and that it destroys over time a lot of the vehicles. And you also have to ask the question, why are these marketers, why are they so insistent on the importation and not buying from Dangote? Is it a question of price, or is it a question that there's something more on the hand going on? Some people have argued that it's in the interest of many people that we continue to import. And that is why the Nigerian refineries owned by the federal government, whether it be Warri, whether it be Port Harcourt, whether it be Kaduna, have refused to work, even with billions and billions of dollars being thrown at them. So some people will see this battle by the market as an extension of that and think that they're in cahoots with those who don't want our refineries to work. But again, the argument is that we can't have a monopoly. Well, if that's the only thing we've got, then that's the only thing we've got. And I think if there's a monopoly, then we need a better regulatory framework. In other words, to ensure that the monopolist does not exploit people. So that's the solution. The solution might not be importation. The solution might be to have a stronger regulator to ensure that the monopolist does not exploit Nigerians, and that the prices, relevant prices, reflect the production cost, but also reflect the purchasing and the buying power of Nigerians.
From what you're saying, are you insinuating that when importation is reduced or totally eradicated, then it will force us to work in-house and force us to work in our refinery, and then probably better the economy?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what would happen. But if we always have the option of going abroad to get the oil, cheaper oil in quotation marks, which hasn't met the standards because we have not been able to measure it or be able to assess it, then we will continue to have the problems that we have. We spend very vital foreign exchange, you understand, on getting this oil, depleting it, instead of spending it on the things that matter to the Nigerian people.
All right, headline from the Punch: reps to engage experts on controversial tax reform bills. We hear the reps are to consult tax experts on the new tax reform bills introduced by the FEC. The bills derived from a committee review aim to streamline tax processes, unify revenue services, and simplify financial obligations. What do you make of the reps trying bringing in experts here to examine the bills? Still unclear exactly what the impact will be. We know that the state governors are strongly against these bills. Just your thoughts on that.
Well, I think that's what should have been happening with every bill. You get experts in. They get a lot of money anyway from the government in terms of remuneration, in terms of constituency allowance, and all kinds of allowances. And you would have expected that in the past they would have got experts to look at some of these bills, because they don't have the technical expertise. And of course, we have the tax experts out there. So it's the right thing to do to ask the questions. And I think what the federal government is trying to do is do what they did in Lagos, where tax was ramped up and there was more taxes available, and so that taxes go into the government's coffers and they can have this more taxes for government expenditure. So it's not a bad thing in itself to unify. When you want to unify the tax authorities, it reduces the cost of bureaucracy. And of course, some will suggest that in instances, duplication is removed and greater efficiency is established. Right. Well, you have to ask the question at the end of the day. Even if they collect more money, that's what Nigerians will ask. If the taxes are more efficient, will this money, will it go to the priority needs of the Nigerian people? Some people would argue that if what is being used is our taxes, then there's more accountability, because people can hold them by the jugular and say, what are you doing with my tax naira? But for now, most of the money comes from petrol, crude oil, and so it's very difficult because it comes from the ground, and who owns the ground? But if it's your money that they're taking and they're not repairing the roads and the education is decrepit, infrastructure is not working, then you are able to hold the government more to account. So the tax reform in many respects works, but the state governments are up in arms because they feel they're going to be shortchanged, particularly when it comes to VAT and stuff. So I think let's see what the law comes up with, and let's see, you understand, whether whether the Tinubu administration will sign that law into bill. But I'm sure it's going to be tweaked a lot by the members of the House and the Senate.
All right, let's quickly touch on the hashtag End Bad Governance children. The children who were previously detained by the federal government, they've now been reunited with their families. But the Kaduna State government seems to be going a bit further. Kaduna State government has given each child 100,000 naira and a new smartphone from the state government. Now, there's some outcries about where was this kind of innovation, or where was this kind of thing before now, and now that things have happened, you're now giving these children 100,000. And is this not rather cosmetic in terms of it's just an outward thing? Is there going to be even much more done for these children so that they do not fall back, or even the people who have not been involved do the same thing, thinking that they would also get the same amount of money? And what are your thoughts on this?
Well, of course, it's cosmetic. You've taken the words right out of my mouth. It's cosmetic. The 100,000 will be gone in a jiffy. Those phones, they probably resell it and also use it to make money and do all stuff. I would have rather they invested in their education to ensure that they go back to school and to ensure that the cost of their education is taken care of. That would have been far-reaching, much more fundamental to addressing the concerns of these people. The reason why these children are roaming around and doing what they're doing is because they're not in school. They're not gainfully engaged in any shape or form. So the 100,000, yes, I understand the gesture. I understand the fact that they want to assuage the feelings of these people. But I think much more would have been done.
It's important to also note that there was a point where people were confused whether they were the same children when they walked into a place. The ones we saw were quite skinny, and these other ones looked quite well fed.
Yes. Well, 2 weeks is a long time in the life of a human being. I mean, if you have not well nourished, cereals, all those necessary
within a few days.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
We'll have to go on a break.
No, but it's not a few days now. It's about a week and a half or thereabout. So yes, it may well be that their diets change overnight. But yes, if they're not the same, then of course that has to be investigated. But I think the main thing is that educate these children.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM, 94.9, the antidote to depression.
Let me ask you a question. What holds you back when you wake up each morning? Is it the uncertainty of how the day will unfold? And as the day goes on, what makes your heart race? Is it the quiet fear that maybe you're not doing enough? And when it's evening, is it the longing for just a little more time? Whatever it is, remember, challenges don't define you, but how you rise to meet them. Staying connected to your dreams, that's how you break free from limits. Get unlimited data plus up to 6-hour battery backup to keep you connected without interruptions on Airtel 4G 5G Smart Connect. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to find out more. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with Semovita.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants a seat at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
Hi, this is Nene from the boat safety team. You can't see us, but we're right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We're the boat safety team, by your side on every ride.
Is it okay to make fun of our tooth gap? Let's have a talk. Colgate makes your teeth so strong. Stop cover your mouth. Not to do yanga with your smile. Brush your teeth with Colgate. Zero cavities and fresh breath. If you use a Colgate
Hey! That time of the year don't reach again, oh. Glow Festival of Joy promo don't land gidigba. And we dey make them happen heavy with breakable prices. Here am now, 5 Tierra Toyota Prados, 5 Chacha Kia Picantos. No be smart, you know. It go even heavy vaso. Sake of say 15 keke napep still there for win. Plus 150 generators, 200 sewing machines, and 300 grinding machines. You see the wait? Make yourself be one of the lucky winners in the Glow Festival of Joy promo. Just dial *611#, choose your price, and recharge now. With shrinkly money, wey small reach 1,000 naira, go reach 100,000 naira. Make you forget better chance to win ogbonge prizes from Glow. Promo go start from October 1 till end of January 2025. Glow Festival of Joy promo get carry go stamp by the Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) and the National Lottery Regulatory Commission (NLRC). Terms and conditions dey.
Unlimited.
Ìfẹ́ tí kò lábàwọ́n ni ìfẹ́ ìyá jẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí ohun tó dùn tó bíi Indomie alájẹpọnu lákọlọ. Nítorí náà, fi ìfẹ́ hàn pẹ̀lú Indomie.
One time for the fearless people, 2 times for the fearless people. You know, say me, I get energy. Yawa no day. You know, say me, I take can't pay. With fearless energy drink, I conquer my day. Fearless energy drink. I dare fearless. Embrace the trees, classic and red berry.
That's right. Embrace the thrill. Feel the power of Fearless Energy Drink. Now available in 50 cl can.
32 FM
94.9.
Thank you for staying tuned. You can now call our phone line to 0705 5949 0809 7949 to be a part of the Break It On Papers Review conversation on 32FM 94.9. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dapper. I'm greeting both of you. Training and share the �NIKE buying 𝐒𝐿𝐒. This as a matter of fact, I have to sympathize with the chief of defense staff if I get it. You see, I'm begging our leaders, those who are really not in the way that even highly rejected to what we deserve. As a matter of fact, I'm begging them, we should use death as sort of contact to repent, to know what to do, to lead us well, to make our life to be acceptable. Not the situation that we be crying and die on a daily basis. If you are counting it now, in House of Senate, both the Rep and House of Senate, you are going to 6 now. That has led to death today. I know that I'm rejoicing to this. No, as a matter of fact, I'm presenting my condolence as a matter of fact. But what are we saying? That nobody knows his or her head. Lead well, behave well, control what you are doing. Don't let the opposition intoxicate you, make you to be rude or arrogant. Do anything that that's not ought to do because nobody can question you. As a matter of fact, get request for you. That's my submission. And because you have to.
All right. Thank you. 0705 5949 0809 7949. We are live on Facebook as well. That's Facebook 32FM 949. Thing on Facebook. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. What's your name?
Yes, my name is 𝐾𝐈𝐒. I just want to commiserate with the Nigerian Army, the people of Osun State, as well as the people of Osun State, on the demise of the chief of army staff who passed on at on Rapid. I wish his family, I pray that God will comfort his family. Secondly, I want to commend the state government for approving 80,000 naira, which is more than 70 naira, 10,000 approved by the federal government. I give kudos to the government. Have a nice working day.
All right, thank you very much. 0705 500949, 0809 700949. Prof, I want to touch on that quickly. The Oyo State government yesterday approved a minimum wage of 80,000 naira for its workers, and of course, this has gotten the approval of the governor, 𝐂𝐈𝐒 for this implementation on the new salary scale. The current minimum wage is 70,000 naira. Seems like a great time for the people of Oyo State.
Well, it's commendable. I don't know that the federal government has implemented it yet, but it is commendable. 80,000. It's not nearly enough, but it's something. My own view has been, apart from increasing wages, you must have things like, vouchers, some other interventions, perks that workers can have access to, transportation, housing, all those sort of things together. But the 80,000 is a good step by this government. It must be praised, you understand, because when he does things that we don't like, we don't praise him. So let's praise him for this one.
All right, we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ade from UI. I want to comment Americans for making mistakes when they fail to elect a brilliant businessman, Donald Trump, and electing an old man who eventually did not have the competence to even complete the tenure. And they immediately had another chance of correcting their mistakes. That's wonderful of them. I've been following them in the past few days and monitoring them. Unlike an African country, I think produce somebody, a PhD holder, and the later result of somebody they say Nepal is okay to do, that is landing them at the present station. There is no how my sister you can compare an elderly person at almost 85. So when they come, it is not possible. That's why you see an African president now, you only see him at spec meeting, you cannot see where he's got to represent a commission project. They are representing him. People will suffer in such a country. Kudos to them. That's the best of today.
All right, we'll take a comment. Olokwademi says, good morning. The Bauchi State Governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, should not see the tax reform bill as a fight between the South and the North, but should see it as a way of expanding the nation's economy, because the bill will force all the states to also bring something to the table, as against the status quo of just waiting for federal allocation every month. May God bless Nigeria. Olokwademi says, good morning. The news surrounding the approval of 80,000 naira's new minimum wage for workers in Oyo State by Governor 𝐂𝐈𝐒 is a very good one and a welcome development. Considering the level of hardship in the nation, it is pertinent that workers' salaries are increased and paying above the approved 70,000 new minimum wage has further shown that the governor truly have the love of the people. Hello, good morning.
This is John Olariwaju. I'm calling from Duo. On the U.S. elections, it has come as gone. I think the lesson we can learn from it is that Americans they know what they want, and they have gone to what they want. And not that Nigeria do not know what they want, but there are some powers that will be hindering the choices or the choice of the people not to materialize. For instance, in the last election we have in Nigeria in 2023, before the election, what the INEC told Nigerians was that they will make sure that the IRS working very well, and they will be seeing the result. Even Nigerians will be seeing the result as it's coming. But the day that Nigerians are expecting the results to be seen on IRS, what happened to the IRS? They told us unnecessary excuse. So see, even before we Nigerians, before they declared Donald Trump as a winner, we have already known that we don't even live in America. We have already known the winner. I think there is something wrong with our election here, especially in the situation whereby we Nigeria will be waiting for one person that we call the INEC umpire that will declare a winner for us. I don't think that we can have a better election here. By the time we are waiting for someone to declare a winner, we are the ones that voted our own choice. We pick the choice. The choice we want. And the next thing is that the moment we finish our vote, we're supposed to be seeing the result. It's not supposed to be a secret something. Election must not be a secret.
All right, thank you.
We need to address this. We don't want that kind of election again. We don't want the election that somebody up there will be dictated for us.
All right. Thank you so much. Omadi Adekunle says it is obvious that Dangote is part of the problems of this country and he's desperate to monopolize his businesses in Nigeria, and he has been enjoying monopolistic business in the country and fight against anyone that wants to compete with him in the business. The case of BUA Cement rings a bell. Nigeria needs a leader that will be ready to step on toes because a businessman cannot continue to supply the country. And finally, Toluwalase Adetola says the 80,000 naira new minimum wage approved by the Oyo State government is a welcome development, although it is not surprising because the well-being of Oyo workers has been his utmost priority, and he has been known as a good friend to them and governor of the masses. All right, thank you so much, Professor Oluwajedokun, for your analysis this morning, and thank you for staying tuned to the Break of Dawn Papers review. Coming up next is the Smart Kids Show. I am DENIKE Ademowago.
I'm Kenny Durutilu. Good morning.